What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Pterodactyl's Unrest, the fun little storyline-based sort of adventure game, I guess. I don't really even know how to classify it because it's almost like an interactive movie, but it's not quite like a novel. Like, you still go around and do stuff. But in any case, in the previous episode, and I've already started out by saying that phrase that I hate so much, but in any case, I really try and wean myself off of it. I'm trying so hard, and yet it just keeps coming back. I'm gonna blame it on the heat, because it's like 97 degrees right now in my apartment. It's just like, my eyeballs are sweating. Still, in the previous episode, we had taken control of a peasant girl who was fleeing her home. We had to leave our money behind because a guard had decided to take a nap on top of it, and we couldn't get him to go away. Hopefully, we'll be able to go back to the town at some point and snipe it back out. I'm not really sure what the point of that whole thing was, because the game made it very clear that once the money was under the stone, you weren't getting it back. And so I'm sort of wondering if we're going to end up going back to the village later. We can pick the money up then. We'll figure it out. And I think that, I really do think that there's probably going to be something later on that's going to count on that buried gold. We'll see what happens. Hey, you. Yeah, you. It looks like you're not going to starve today after all, kid. I have an opening in my gang with whatever your name is on it. We can be get lost, anyone in your gang, not a starving little girl. Keep talking. I'm not trying to get molested. I'm not finished. Are you gonna hear me out, or am I gonna knock you down and kick your head in? I don't know, are you gonna? Yeah, forget it. I've seen enough starving kids to know you'll be dead before sunset. Have a nice life, little girl. I'll find someone who wants to eat. Yeah, but you see, our respect bar went way up. Even though his friendship bar went down, our respect bar went up by a chunk. Because we tried to act gangster. We tried to act hood. It's all good. I know what we're doing right now, so... She's an ex-queen. I don't let peasants talk to me like that. You guys respect my caste. We have a slum man. We have a sick man. You, girl. Cough. Come closer. It's hard to talk. What do you want? Please, need medicine. No one to help me anymore. If I had medicine, I wouldn't give it to a stranger, okay? Or did Ronvir's men pass out cures by the temple? We can search him for valuables, which is super, super hardcore. We can ignore him and leave. I think we'll go for... Did Ronvir's men pass out cures by the temple? All gone. An hour's all gone. People fight, people kill. Only the healthy are strong enough to win. Please. What's in it for me? You're sick and I'm starving. Food. I have a scrap of bread. It's 3 days old. Alright, well, we can say it's better than nothing. We can say that if we find medicine, we can trade it for a lot more than a scrap of bread. We can say nobody saves food, he's lying to me. Alright, we'll go with the first option. I'm gonna play Mr. Nice Guy here. Mr. Nice Girl, I suppose. Mrs. Nice Girl? There we go. I think I've got the nomenclature all proper. Sometimes you gotta do these little post-play patch-ups. J-Deep's man. Does he keep J-Deep happy? Does he touch J-Deep in a way that J-Deep can only be touched by him? Hey kid, wanna see a trick? What trick? You gotta take a step closer, come on. I'm not gonna hurt you. Tell me what the trick is. I can't tell you what the trick is, that'll ruin it. You gotta come over here, trust me, you're gonna like it. Eh? He reaches behind your ear. When his hand returns, he's holding a scrap of bread, which he presses into your hand. Here, now don't come back looking back for more, because that's all I've got. Okay, well I thought he was going to punch me in the head or something, but apparently instead of a donkey punch, we got ourselves a magical, amazing little scrap of bread. We've got ear bread. Yep, that's what they called it too. Ear bread. This bread either came from your ear or the sweaty pouch of one of J-Deep's slum militia. Either way, it would explain the smell, but it's something. Yeah, at least we got something to stuff into our greedy mouth now. Have we talked to any of these other people? No. I guess not. Let's continue trucking. Digging this music. I love Bollywood / Indian / really any type of Eastern music where it's got just that walking beat. Sounds great. Sounds super great. I love it. So we've got a dead guy up here, a dirt guy. Who's this? You there. The monsoon did. The preacher. Okay, well, we'll come back later maybe. So you gonna kill him? For spitting on me? Nah, I broke his face and that's enough. I don't even know where he lives. I think I see him around. You want me to give him a kicking next time? Yeah, you better not. You need the uniform to get away with that stuff. Otherwise, his cousin or brother or something will come and get you back. Yep, that's exactly how it works, too. That is exactly how it works. So we don't want to go down that alley. The game doesn't want us to go down there because apparently we'll get, pistol whipped to death or something if we walk down the alley. Hungry child. Oh good, she didn't ask me for my bread. I figured the game was gonna try and make me feel bad and be like, You're a starving kid with bread. Do you give it to the other starving kid with bread? I'll be like, no! I shove it into my mouth. Nom, 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 nom. Cookie Monster, that shit. What is this? Found him like that this morning. You know him? Shake my head. I'm waiting to see if anybody claims him. Any friends, family, anyone like that. He has to have somebody. Most people do. Do you have anyone else? That's all I do have. It's been so long since I've had an ordinary morning. Out of everything, that's what I miss most. Ordinary mornings where I know what to do and there are no surprises like this one. I miss everything about the way my life used to be. She continues to stare at the body. She says nothing else and seems in no hurry to move on. I searched his body before. That was one of the options, that you can search the body. I searched him the last time I played and there's nothing on him. Your hands just get all bloody and sweaty, which is disgusting and probably disease-ridden. Asha isn't anyone's lackey, so we gain the ability Proud. Or the, I guess, the passive trait Proud. There's nothing off to this left side for us, so I think we'll go... Actually, let's check it real fast to make sure. Yeah, there's nothing over here. Just black market traders. Let's swing down to the bottom, and I guess I missed a left-hand turn. Wouldn't be the first time in my life. It says I can get through here somewhere, but I didn't see it. Let's take a look one more time. I'm trying to clear everything out before we go anywhere else. Oh yeah, I did miss it. It's right there. I was too busy talking to the old sick man. I need a new skin. It's itching and burning. Ew. Oh, we've got Nagas. Okay. There's nothing for you here, mouse. Scurry away. Please, I'm starving. Yeah, you're hungry. We're hungry. When it comes to time to fight for whatever food there is, we're strong enough to win. If you're looking for an apology, you won't get one. We can say, leave without another word. We can say, come on, just one piece of fruit. I won't strike you, but I won't let you get closer either. Have the grace to retreat. In its native tongue to other Naga. See if you can get this cart upright, take it over to the broken shack by the main road. My men will make sure you're not followed. Better to take an hour to get everything organized than to let it turn into a feeding frenzy. Wish I knew what those bastards were hissing at each other. Could be anything, couldn't it? Nah, I understood it. They were talking about where they were going to store the fruit. You speak their tongue? You should tell me where they're going to hide it. I know a guy who knows a gang who can take that fruit off their hands once there aren't so damn many of them guarding it. Know what I mean? Yeah, as long as the fruit makes it back to this street so I can get a piece, gladly. Sure, friend, that fruit will feed more humans than it'll feed Naga anyways. Give him the right directions. I'll pass this along. If I see you later, I'll make sure you get a little taste of the takings. I should get a big taste of the takings, considering you wouldn't even know where it was going except for me. Whatever. It's kind of like you can only play this game once, because I already know where the storyline's going, so like most of this is like non-committal, it doesn't matter. For centuries, no Naga was allowed in Bimra, not since they betrayed us in war and trade and friendship many years ago, but the royals broke the law. They let Naga refugees from nearby settlements into our slums. All this to make the Naga Empire want to trade with us so that their merchants and nobles could eat Naga food from their gilded plates. Meanwhile, we get Naga diseases, Naga thugs, Nagas eating more food than a family eats and taking it from our family's mouths. Then the royals came out into the slums to tell us how it was all a great plan and how it healed Bimra. All lies. Their lies killed hundreds of us. It's only fair that we killed the 3 of them. Ronveer is the only one in this city who cares about us, so he gives us bread to strengthen us. He gives us medicine to heal us. He arms Jadip's men to keep us safe from violence, while the city's dog Shyam keeps us caged. Who here can say their lives have not been touched by Ronveer's generosity? So we can call him out, but I don't think it's going to matter. This guy's probably a zealot, so Ronveer protects. Through bread, medicine, and men, Ronveer protects. I don't think it's gonna matter. You can't talk to a zealot, so we'll just continue on our way instead of wasting time with his dumb ass. Child, listen to me. I know you can't read, but you can think, and that's all that's important. Tell me, what do you think of Ronveer's teachings? I can read. No, you can't. No street urchin can read. You just want one of my pamphlets to play with. Come now. I'm offering you significant respect. The least you could do is offer me respect in return. No, really, I can. I can read. Show me one of your pamphlets and I'll prove it. What? I won't ask where you learned, but by all means, take one of these, read it over, and let it sink in. Let's find out what he gave us. Complacency is the weapon of evil. Priests are men, and men commit evil for their own ends. Do not trust safe and easy answers. Guard your heart as easily as you would guard your own life, or as carefully as you would guard your own life, and the world will get better for your caution. Do not believe Ronveer's stories. Do not believe your terror. Believe in what your eyes have told you. Another dirt guy. We're not here to take him away. Ronvir, that is. JD has us making a list of anybody in the slum who dies a virtuous death. Something about getting the nobles to recognize our plight. Take him anyway, he stinks. Yeah, he does, but that's not our job. So if you don't know his name, shove off. The skeletal man stares at the wall and doesn't seem to notice you. Are you alright? He hugs his legs tighter to himself and continues staring at the wall. Seriously, you want to talk about it? There's nothing left to talk about. I'm done. You're still alive? What do you mean you're done? I'm no good to anyone, not anymore. There isn't much food left. Every day I eat means someone else doesn't. Maybe someone else's kids. Maybe someone else with a wife. I can't do this anymore. Oh, I don't want you to die. Does that help? I don't deserve anything. I might as well just die. Hasn't someone ever loved you? I mean, if the answer is yes, then you do deserve to live. They're gone. They went first. I thought that I could. So we can give them a hug. We can tell them to carry the memory because no one else will. And we could say that we lost a family. We'll go with the easy option. I mean, he looks kind of smelly, and I'm not really a fan of getting other people's sweat on me, but we'll hug him. The man cries. Before long, he's doubled over and past being able to speak. It will clearly be some time before he's finished. That's like, there's situations in life where you want people to be harsh and you want people to be cruel to you, so that it like hardens you up. But like subconsciously, like if it, it's not even subconsciously, but it's like the smallest act of kindness is like the only thing it takes for like that levee, like that hard outer shell to break. You know what I mean? Like one person just does that one little kind thing and it like pokes a hole in the dam, and then all of a sudden the person just starts like weeping all over the place, and you're just like, well, it was like right on the edge. Are you sick? You look sick. Here, take this medicine. Take it. He lets out a sigh of relief. All done. All done until tomorrow. No questions asked. There's a reason. So basically, you'll find out in a couple minutes why you need to take the medicine without questioning about it. It'll make sense. I promise. Don't talk to them. This game is full of booby traps, and that's one thing I don't like, is that if you talk to these guys up here, it automatically transitions you to the next part of the game without giving you a warning. What I wish would happen is it would be like, you are about to move to the next part of the storyline. Would you like to proceed? And then you can say yes or no. Whereas with the way that the game is configured right now, if you talk to just like a random person, it may shift you to the next part of the story without you actually being able to finish anything. And so I would strongly, strongly, strongly suggest, so we can sell the medicine to the black market, or we can give the medicine to the sick man. And I don't think there's a right or wrong choice right here. I mean, honestly, he's an old man, and it sounds harsh, but harsh times call for harsh rationality. How long is the medicine going to keep him alive? Will the medicine even cure him? Is he still going to die after I give him the medicine? In that case, selling it for the money that I can use on myself and the people around me is a better idea. If the medicine will truly heal him and he'll be better, then I think the medicine is well spent. Then you can make the ethical argument that the right thing to do is give him the medicine whether or not he's going to survive anyways, because at least it gives him a chance. And so if we really take it down to brass tacks, since I don't know what we can do with the money, we'll give the medicine to the old man. I'm such a nice guy. I'm gonna go with the ethically correct choice, I guess. Give him a fighting chance. You're back, do you? Oh, he's a sick man. I thought he was a sick old man. Never mind. Thank you. Here, take the bread. You've earned it. So we've got a morsel of bread. I'm sort of interested if I can do anything with this bread, because knowing what I know about the game, the last time I played it just removed all the bread from your inventory a little bit later. Get going before I get you going. That almost sounds like you're hitting on me. Okay, so I've always wondered, like, there's a lot of weird little things in this game, like, can you sell the bread? Can you get rid of it? Can you do anything with it? Like, a lot of the decisions in this game don't ever seem to come around later on to, like, bite you in the ass or anything like that. So, for example, in The Walking Dead, your decisions always come around to bite you in the ass. But in this game, maybe it just takes a little bit longer. But from what I've seen, like, you make decisions and then it just removes the items from your inventory later, and you never get a chance to actually use them. So let's walk around and see if maybe there's somebody we can give bread to around here somewhere. We can't help the little kids. Nobody else is flagged except for, yeah, the Temple District. I guess there's nothing we can actually do with the morsels of bread. I mean, maybe it changes the outcome of her health or something based on how much bread you have now versus later. I mean, we've got 2 pieces of bread. I mean, we're not doing too terribly compared to everybody else who's starving to death. Guess we'll go talk to J-Deep's man. Or J-Deep himself. Hold up, where are you going, kid? To the temple to wait for food. So that's how you live, isn't it? Lazing about in the streets like a stray dog waiting for the better man to throw you scraps. You think Ronveer wants stray dogs on his doorstep? My mistake, I thought you were all here to help us. What you're doing is getting underfoot at the temple. The streets are carpeted with wretch urchins like yourself. We have to drag them off by the festering cartload. You think that's the sort of thing that Banka-Mundi wants outside of his temple? What about Ronveer, huh? You think he wants to deal with garbage like you? Alright, that'll do. Here, take this. I've got a scrap of bread. You look like you're starving. You can turn it down or you could take it. Hey, I'll just take it. No second questions when you're starving. That's for realsies. That's it. Eat it up. You know who I am? I'm J-Deep, and these are my men. They may not be the most kind and understanding, but they've probably already saved your life. Without us, the Naga would have already taken everything they wanted and left the humans to starve and rot. I've got an entire loaf of bread here, and I'll give it to you if you promise me one thing. You ever see anyone who wants to tear down our order? Anyone who attacks my men, or Ronveer priests, or the council's guards? You come to me and tell me everything. You promise me that? This loaf is yours. Sure, just give me the bread, whatever. That's what I like to hear. We're in this together, you know. Now run along. If anyone bothers you, let my men know about it. Okay. And so with any hope, the familiar wayfarer, okay. So we have to go back over here, and there's Avanes, our uncle. Asha, I found you. The nightmare is over, for I finally found you. You escaped? How? Look. The day they were all to die, one of my personal guards confessed Vijay had bribed him to end my life. I was too late to help any of you, and I knew that once this coup was completed, Vijay would kill me the moment I surfaced. I was sure you were dead. I spent 12 months searching for you, 12 months of suffering Vijay's feudal leadership, that thug Shyam's iron grip on the slums, Ronveer and his gutless fanatical cronies, 12 months of waiting for a day where we could make things better. And now that day's finally come. So, what are we gonna do? Follow me and I'll show you what I've built. Know that before long the city will ring out with your name. Bimra will raise you up on its shoulders and rend Vijay's false reign asunder. See what I mean? Like, there's random talks around that, like, once you get there, like, all these items and things that we've picked up. So we're an opportunist. We traded medicine for food and didn't worry about where either came from. So I guess that's an opportunist thing, even though it kind of seemed like the right thing to do. I guess it was both opportunist and the right thing to do. I mean, the guy that gave us the medicine was a priest, and it said that the priests are supposed to have the medicine, so I'm not going to question it too much. It's the right guy with the right things, so you don't know where Avanes has been or what he's planning. However, you have a feeling tomorrow is going to be very different from today. You are Bhagwan, priest and father, 38 years old. Bhagwan is an initiate to Banka-Mundi's temple, that is to say Ronveer's temple. Hailed as the voice of the poor, Ronveer is one of the most powerful and popular figures in Bimra, so much so that Vijay offered him a seat on his council. With the help of J-Deep, a local militia captain, his believers provide food, medicine, and order to the parts of the city ignored by the nobles. Bhagwan has been a priest all of his life, and while he has heard that serving Ronveer is a different and dangerous undertaking, all he knows is that it will feed and clothe his children. So far, that's been all that he needed to know. So Bhagwan, he's part of the priest caste. He's studied priestly ways his entire life, and Ronveer's temple is not the first that he has belonged to. He's also a father. He has 2 children. If he does not work, they do not eat. So that's an important thing that you want to look at in the traits. So you want to put yourself inside the mindset of a father right now and how you look after your children. And so all of your decisions from this point forward, I would say try to RP this game. Really try. Even if you're not into that sort of thing or that you think it's lame or whatever, it will make this game better because you have to put yourself inside the minds of the characters. Otherwise, you're just kind of randomly clicking things based on your own kind of self-interest. And once you start playing both sides of the line, so later we'll start playing from the perspective of some of the bad guys. And if you can't switch in between the roles, like I said, you'll start sabotaging one side, which if you're playing the bad guy, he wouldn't sabotage himself so that the other side could win because he's a bad guy. He would play the game to the utmost of his intent, so that's what I try and do by doing this little roleplay session. And so we want to make decisions as though you have children waiting on you, and for people that already have children in the audience, or for those of my viewers who already have children, that'll be a lot easier for you. For me, it's kind of stepping outside. I'm getting older, but I don't have no chitlins yet. I don't have any critters. So, I can imagine, but I don't know. Your initiation has begun, Bhagwan. What you say now carries from my ears to the ears of Banka-Mundi. Speak from your heart, hide nothing, for you stand in the presence of something far greater than yourself. So I swear, Priest Ranveer. I will speak honestly, or we can say silence. I will speak honestly. You wish to be my priest, but that doesn't tell me much. Tell me, Bhagwan, what is the first duty of a priest? You can say to serve God. You can say to teach God's wisdom to others, or you can use your knowledge and judgment to serve your community. I'm gonna go with number 3. You're not young. A priest of your age must have served other avatars before Banka-Mundi. Why would you join my ranks? Okay, so we can say because I believe there's much for me to learn here. You can say when your order rose, mine fell. To have such an effect, your cause must be greater than mine was. Or we can go with, I must feed my children however I can. For an aging priest, your order is my only option. I'm going to bullshit and go with number 1. That's the honest answer right there. But, I mean, that's the answer that I'd be going for. But then again, I'm not a religious man, so... Because I believe there's much for me to learn here. Tell me, do you wish to be more than a humble priest? My hierarchy is vast. For a man of strength and wisdom, there is much divine work to be done. I thought that was going to say there's much work to be divined. We can say humility suits me as long as my children are provided for. When I'm wise enough in this temple's ways to qualify for advancement, I will be wise enough to decide. I'll say number 2. I like that phrase. We will see. I have one final question. You know that when I stood where you stood, this was one small temple on a street full of temples. Banka-Mundi told me that this was unacceptable. She told me that there was a time and a place for every message, for every course of action, and that it was long past time the principles of compassion and protection reigned on these streets. I am he who heard her word and made it manifest. I know in my heart that my voice, the voice of compassion, is all that keeps these slums from boiling over. Speak honestly. If Banka-Mundi appeared to you and told you to kill me, would you do it? We could say, what? No, I do not trust the vision. We say, I couldn't for fear of the city if you perished. We say, yes, I would. We could say, I don't know if I would have the strength. I would come to you with the vision and ask you what was best. To be fair, Ranveer, even though he's kind of mobilizing people against the Naga, there would have been violence against the Naga much sooner if it weren't for him urging restraint in order for a later offensive. So, I mean, honestly, there's no right answer right here. There's going to be violence either way. I mean, there will be blood, I guess would be... I couldn't. I would fear for the city if you perished. If you fear for the city, then your interest in those of Banka-Mundi are one. That is good enough. I suppose that's his version of that'll do, pig. From now on, until Banka-Mundi sees otherwise, you are a servant of this city. Time to set aside your layman's duties and begin doing real priest work, yes? Go on, ask Daya what needs doing. That's a pretty name, Daya. I assume that's a female name. I don't know if that's a male name in Indian, but either way, I like the name. I'll be watching you with interest. Oh, it's a dude. Alright, so it's not pretty. It's masculine. I take it back. Sorry, man. You're initiated? Good, we'll talk things over later, but now I need someone to get outside and pass out bread in Priya's place. This hasn't been a good morning for her or for us. Priya said she saw some Naga had snuck in past the east wall, so stay away from them. Naga don't get bread rations. Now go. Let's talk to Sumit. Those bastards. Those sick murdering bastards. Did you hear what they did to Prabal? What happened? Bhagwan, he's barely breathing. Prabal went out to speak in the slums and some people thought that Bhagwan, he's barely breathing. Prabal went out to speak in the slums and some people thought he was carrying our medicine and they cornered him. They nearly killed him. We're trying to help these people and they come at us like hungry animals. I'm not sure what to... You can say I don't know what to say. They're just desperate. If they weren't desperate, they wouldn't need us to help in the first place. Or I'm needed elsewhere. Honestly, what do you say? I mean, scared, angry, starving people are scared, angry, starving people. You can't really... There's no justification from their actions because they're justifying their own actions basically out of animalistic necessity. It's like, how do you look down onto somebody for trying to survive instead of rolling over and dying, if you know what I mean? So, I don't know what to say. Worthless, ungrateful bastards. I hope the Naga eat them all. I hope the entire slum burns to the ground. And so this game, it's always going to have these kind of things where you want to talk to everybody so that you can get context out of things. Once you have the context, you realize that like the slum people are bad people, but they're in a bad situation. You start to realize that just everything is messed up in this game and that there's no way you can really win. No matter what decision you make, it's probably going to be wrong. I think we'll talk to Chatura and then we'll break this episode off. A word to the wise, Bhagwan. Don't give anything to the children. They're all members of street gangs and most of anything you give them is going to end up on the black market. I see. How do you know? I feel like that's a risk we'd have to take. And what if I make them eat on the spot? We'll go with that one. That seems wise. The condition they're in, chances are you make them eat that much bread at once and they'll sick it back up or die. Trust me, we've tried a lot of systems, handing out only a little bit of bread to each person, having them all starve to death, making people eat it on the spot in front of all the other hungry, desperate people, taking them away from the group to feast and watching them get targeted later on. Nothing really works, but this is the system that doesn't work the least. It feels like it should be easier than this, doesn't it? Yeah, that's true. And so I think I'm going to break off the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Unrest, this amazing little ethical dilemma simulator, I suppose, by Pyrodactyl. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody. And as always, let me know what you think about this series, because I know this is kind of a weird game for the channel. Definitely be vocal about this series, because I'm not sure whether it's something that fits the channel's tone or not. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.